Hey guys, so back again for another video in this channel where we discuss productivity, technology, science, finance, and lots of other topics, interesting topics. This is my 12th video, so that's pretty good. I'm remaining consistent, which is one of the key predictors of success, so I'm happy about that. Today, we're going to be working with Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Actually, Dr. Maxwell Maltz. This is a very interesting book. I do recommend reading it. My good friend Leonidas gave it to me actually. And what's funny is that this is, in some ways, kind of like a self-help book. So when a friend gifts you a self-help book, you can't stop wondering what is he seeing in me? So that's kind of like an interesting side note of the book. Going into the main part of the book, there are a couple of key concepts related to the book, and I'll do my best in this video to explain them one by one as I understood them as I read. And actually I read the book twice because I found it useful in different parts of my life. So the first thing the book talks about is the idea of a self-image. That being, and it's interesting here because Maxwell Maltz was a surgeon. He was trained as a surgeon, and what he realized while operating, he was a plastic surgeon. What he realized is that when he operated and when he performed surgery on different patients, in many cases, maybe he found someone who had a nose that was, that was crooked or something, and then he corrected it in a way. And then he noticed that all of a sudden, when the people saw their new face, they were happy with their new face, and their attitude changed because the face had changed. But conversely, Maltz also observed people that maybe had some defect on their ears, and then he corrected the defect, but the people still thought that the ears didn't look as they should, and they still operated and behaved as if they had some sort of defect. So the first idea Maltz makes in the book is that we all have a concept like a self-image of ourselves. And what he says is that your body and your your nervous mechanism operates in consonance with that self-image. So if you don't believe you can do it, you certainly can't. What is interesting is that if you take the idea the other way around, if you believe you can fly and you jump off of a third floor, you're not gonna jump no matter how hard you believe. So we need to take this ideas Maltz proposes with caution, but they are nonetheless important. So the first thing is this idea of the self-image. And the second thing Maltz tells us is, well, the good news is that you can change your self-image. You have this self-image that maybe is of someone who is very successful, or maybe is of someone who is afraid to do X, and you can change your self-image by deliberately imagining pleasant experiences and doing some sort of visualization exercises. That is also interesting because it gives you this idea that you can change some part of your life. And the third idea I think is very important in this book is the idea of servo mechanisms. So what Maltz goes on to say is that you have this brain encased in your head, and that brain has two parts. You've got this conscious part where you reside, and this subconscious part that operates on your own, because as you know, when you close your eyes, when you breathe, your heartbeat, those are all automatic mechanisms. Of course, modern science knows that they all correspond to different parts of different parts of the brain. But what Maltz says is that in many cases, suppose you're going to pick up this pen, you don't consciously say, well, I'm going to close these muscles and then this ones, and then I'm going to do all of these effectuators. You just do it because there's a system that's doing it for you. And what Maltz says is that in many cases, the most efficient use of your time is to just think of yourself as you being the operator that operates a very powerful subconscious mechanism that is at your disposal. So that's another interesting idea of you being in control of a very powerful machine that can do things for you, that machine being your subconscious. Which takes us to the final idea, which is that you can train yourself to make better use of the machine by different exercises that are described in the book. So overall, I think this is a pretty interesting book. I don't agree with all of its ideas, but I agree with many of them, and I have tried them, and some of them I found useful. So I do recommend reading it. I think it's a valuable use of your time. And yeah, that's it for today. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, so that I might know what to produce next.